Let's talk about Amazon $9 a month
This is
healthcare
crazy.
play. The $9 a month healthcare play from Amazon.
Yeah,
Available for Amazon Prime members.
there you go.
Um, why not? Makes a lot of sense.
They already were in the space. We knew that they were having shipments directly to people's homes. They purchased One Medical in February. It was like,
Great
well,
acquisition.
They purchased PillPack.
they purchased like they've
Great
already been doing
acquisition.
like this shouldn't come as a surprise. So here it is, $9 a month.
Well, okay, let's talk about. Let's give some details and let's.
You want to start it, Ian?
Yeah, I think and that's why I posed the question earlier. If a presidential candidate was saying, "Hey, if I get elected, I'm going to make healthcare for all Americans $9 a month," would they win? I think it would be a landslide. I don't know what the margins will be on this, but I do think because Amazon has been a laggard in the tech space, I think this could be one of the things that drives them over. They already have amazing fanfare amongst Prime members and people who use it. There's a general happy disposition when you think about Amazon and using the platform. But if we look at other medical experiences, going to a doctor is not the friendliest. It feels kind of cold. And I know that they need more doctors in their ecosystem to do some of these checkups. But if they combine the tech infrastructure that they have with that fast delivery, and if it remains $9 a month for a long time when the economy is being compressed for most people, this is going to be a landslide victory for them. There are
Yeah.
only two spaces to be in if you're in America: healthcare and tech. And some may argue that healthcare is not truly healthcare. I understand that. But this is Obamacare, the idea of it in tech form. I keep saying, like, if Biden brought this out, and it's interesting to see that even a tech company is doing things for the people that leadership will not do. This is going to have a tremendous impact on the stock over the next 4 or 5 years.
Mhm.
It's been one of my favorites in Stock Club for 4 or 5 years, and I think this will only push the stock higher.
Yeah. So the company, well, it's called Prime One Medical, so it goes to Prime members. So it covers unlimited access to 24/7 on-demand virtual
Mike,
care,
we can't see.
including video chats with licensed providers within minutes. So we've seen Amazon do this before. We covered this the diapers.com story where, you know what, we saw diapers. We're gonna take their business, right? Their business model. We're gonna make it cheaper. Eventually, they won't have business, and we'll purchase them and
Yep.
extinguish them. So think about what happened over the past 3 to 4 years in the pandemic. We couldn't go to the doctor's office. We had to schedule virtual calls. You think that Amazon sat back and said, this isn't a business opportunity? If CVS is doing it and Walgreens is doing it, and we have the infrastructure, we
be
have
better.
the data, right? And we have the delivery, which those companies don't, right? So they found One Medical, they purchased that for $4 billion. At the time, people were like, well, here they go again, right? They bought Whole Foods. Why are they doing this now?
Yep.
Well, here's the reason, right? You knock out all these other providers, you become the provider. Not only do you provide 24 access to care, but you can do drop medication, right? And you can also have third-party providers interject when it's, less serious issues. So now you become a virtual hospital in a sense where you can
Yep.
now have patients speak to somebody, get the medication, and if it's something that is life-threatening, flu, chicken, you can have people, actually third-party people, come to you. They're wiping the competition out in the
Mhm.
healthcare space. This is how they enter spaces, right? They don't come and say, like, we're just gonna pretend we're gonna. No, they're coming in to dominate, like they've
And
done
this
in
is
every
why.
industry that they come in.
Yep. And how do you compete on that based on price? That's why competing on price, somebody's always going to undercut you. And even if it's a loss leader, at some point they'll find a way to scale it. The interesting thing to keep your eye on is to see if they can be able to squeeze $3.55 or $4 of profit out of that $9. If they do that, oh, well, it's going to be a tough night. Because the thing that United Healthcare may have, which is a stock that I do like in that space.
Mhm.
No, I haven't met one person in life that's like, I'm just in love with United Healthcare. Like the biggest arbitrage is the brand ambassadorship or fan love or brand loyalty that a person may have. And if you begin to have a good experience, and let alone if the process is fast and I'm getting coverage, they'll find a way to make it better. Even when Prime came out, Prime was okay at first, and they quietly added benefits to it year after year to make it unstoppable. And I kept saying, tech and healthcare is the only two things that you really need to be in. Apple's making their foray. Like, so now if you have that AI plus fanfare plus healthcare at an affordable price, when most people are priced out,
Yeah.
they got another empire.
Do you even think they want to make a profit margin that wide? Like if we're saying $9, if they're making $4, I think they might even be content making $1.
Does everybody know the story of diapers.com?
You want to give it to them?
Put yes in chat if you're put no in chat if you're not familiar with the stories
Right.
of
Because
diapers.com.
even if they make $1 from it, this is not the core business. AWS is by far the core business, whereas other companies, this is your core business.
Yeah.
They're just coming into the space, right?
Yeah.
And so having a profit margin of $4 on that 9 might be great, but they might say, hey, we might take a loss for the first 2 years. We can afford to take the loss. We take your customers.
Yeah.
You can't afford to take the loss. You'll be out of business.
A lot of people
And
are
if
not
they get
familiar
enough of them, if they get 6-7 million people who need healthcare at a time when they're priced out. But you want to tell the story, Rashad?
Yeah, a lot of people are not familiar
Yeah,
with the story
yeah,
of
give 'em a story.
diapers.com. So I think it illustrates business, and it illustrates a variety of other different things when it comes into play. So diapers.com.
This is a legendary episode. What? 2?
Yeah,
Might have been episode 2.
for sure.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Startup company, internet during the internet craze when everybody had the .com, and they had a unique business where they were actually shipping diapers to mothers. Very easy.
Yeah.
Diapers.com, but it was needed because when you got to go to the grocery store to get diapers and it's a hassle and then you don't have enough, and so it's like they found the way to kind of circumvent that, and that's what they did. So Mike, could we get the full screen on this, Mike? So what they did was start a company, and they started making a lot of money, and Amazon caught note of it.
Mhm.
And executives at Amazon sat down with the CEO of diapers.com and offered them a buyout. They wanted to buy the company out. They saw that it could be very profitable for their situation, and they thought it was going to be big. And they did not like the offer that they were given, and they respectfully declined the buyout.
Mhm.
And as a result, Amazon started to sell diapers direct, Amazon Prime, without charging them a cost, and they undercut them.
Yeah.
And
Discounted them
and they
20% off.
they discounted it so much that Amazon actually started losing $100 million a month. They were losing $100 million a month on diapers, but they didn't really care about losing $100 million a month because the whole point was to bleed out the competition to the point where they could just bankrupt them, and that's exactly what they did. And diapers.com went belly up, and then they brought diapers.com for a much lower price than they originally offered them. And when they brought them, they fired every single person.
They dissolved the business.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
no longer needed.
Mafia hit.
You know what?
Stop.
Thanks, guys. We'll take it from here. And goodbye to diapers.com.
Good night. Long kiss. Good night.
Yeah. And that is business.
Yeah. So that, in a nutshell, my friends, is a perfect case study of how ruthless business can be.
Absolutely.
And that's why you got to, if you better have money if you want to go to war.
Yeah.
You better have money. This is a promise. You know what they're coming for next, and you kind of alluded to it earlier. It sounded like it was funny, but yeah, you can buy a Hyundai on Amazon.com.
Okay.
Well,
And everyone
it
thought it was a
starts with
joke.
Hyundai, but you know what happens next? It becomes every
Ford,
automotive company, right?
Rivian, GM.
Right.
Yes.
Then what happens to Cars.com? What happens to Auto Trader? What happens to all these sites where that became their sole thing? Again, this
What's the one with the vending machine?
Carvana.
Tough.
Right now, what do you do when they have the database that they have, right? When they're not looking at this as their main source of income. Again, AWS is the shining light. This is just another piece that they're adding to the business. You can't afford to lose money. They can. They might bleed you out again.
Big fish.
And they have a bigger customer database.